Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 132 of the Toonami Escape Podcast, the last for the year. Woo!
Yay.
You survive. If you're listening to this, you may have almost survived 2018. There's still a few days left for you to die horribly.
About 13.
About 13. I'm Greg Zeno. Tonight we have B-Dubs.
Hello.
C-Kohler.
Hey guys.
And Seda.
Hello.
And yes, we did just finish doing the categories for the Toonami Era Awards. Thank you very much. I was very lazy. I woke up on Sunday and was like, I don't want to do these because I haven't thought about it enough.
So we're just, without giving any too much details, there'll be a post in the thread soon, and we shuffled some categories, removed some, added up one or two, so look forward to that.
Yeah. Rest in peace, worst looking show. Turns out stuff looked good this year.
Well, I mean, there were shows that didn't, but there weren't enough really bad looking shows to make a category. So
yeah. But hey, now you can look forward to us arguing over which stand is best versus what Gundam versus which quirk. That's going to be a fun category. That will be completely arbitrary, and nobody will be mad. Nobody.
Yep.
Hey, there's a new schedule coming next year.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to bring that up because I don't remember exactly what it was.
So, like, it's something about, like, everything is just meeting later now.
Yeah.
Pretty much. They're cutting a bunch of those reruns. And
interestingly, DeMarco was like, the whole, like, starting Toonami earlier and having a slightly longer block was an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the whole restarting of Kai, that's over. That'll be over. There's no more. They're ditching Kai again.
Yep, screw you, Kai. Get out.
I mean, it makes sense. It didn't really look like the kind of block that was sustainable over the long term because they just didn't have enough. You know, like, when you're moving Naruto Shippuden that far up, you know you've got a problem.
Well, the way he was talking about it, like saying that, like, he's much happier now that the block will be shorter like this, kind of makes it sound like Lazo was maybe the one pushing for this and not so much the Toonami guys.
Yeah, I do imagine this was coming from everybody who saw, oh, wow, Toonami just rules Saturday night. Maybe we can move it up. And then DeMarco and all them going like, we don't have enough shows for that. Do reruns.
It was basically like, hey, first off, I don't like trying to fill all these slots. Second of all, people just don't watch this stuff before 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that too.
So here's the new schedule coming on the 5th of January. 11 o'clock, Dragon Ball Super, back in its rightful place where it belongs. 11:30, Boruto.
Yay.
12 o'clock, midnight, MHA. 12:30, Mob Psycho. 1 o'clock, Megalobox. 1:30, JoJo. 2 o'clock, Black Clover. Still in front of that Hunter x Hunter, man.
Yep.
I can't wait till Hunter x Hunter. Sorry.
Shippuden after that. Back in its
and then 2:30 Hunter x Hunter, 3 o'clock Shippuden, back in its rightful place.
Yep.
Down at the fucking bottom.
Deserves it.
And then 3:30 Attack on Titan, 4 o'clock Pop Team, 4:30 Gundam. So you get some reruns.
Yeah, basically the most recent block expansion is they added Kai at one end and Samurai Jack at the other. They moved it up an hour. And then they basically decided to cut it back. They cut Kai and Samurai Jack, and they basically cut it back to the 11 o'clock start time rather than 9 or 10. So,
yep.
So it's starting 2 hours later.
I mean, I totally agree, though. I mean, I think we've said this before, where like a more premier focused block is always, I think, better than a longer block with a bunch of reruns.
I mean, before we know it, Mob Psycho and Megalobox will be done, and they'll have to do something with those slots.
I wonder if there's any chance Mob Psycho goes straight into season 2. Probably not, because that's not a Funimation dub. Nobody else does simul dubs.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
But to be honest, as somebody who doesn't really have a social life on Saturdays, I'm fine with this.
Yeah, me too. I mean, like, I actually would rather it be later anyway because it gives me more time in the evening to get other things done before Toonami starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like I was really eager to watch Kai again.
I like getting back from my workout on Saturday and not being like, oh, I have 3 hours until Toonami starts.
But you know what the best part is? We get to talk about Shippuden at the end of the podcast now.
Yay!
It's such a refresher to end on such a terrible show every week. I love it.
Back where it belongs.
I do understand your concern, though, Zonic. That's a bad situation for you.
Yeah, he has to work every night or every weekend nights anyway, so it sucks.
He's like, oh man, I can't wait to talk about JoJo. And DeMarco's like, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, it's only like, isn't it only like, is it an hour later or a half hour later?
Oh, JoJo was at,
I think those later shows effectively moved, are effectively moving 1 hour back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, do you guys remember when we used to stay up till 6 a.m. for Toonami?
Yeah.
That was the thing.
That. See, like Hunter x Hunter was airing at 1:30, and now it's going to be at 2:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was also some rigmaroles, though, in there because Naruto Shippuden fell behind it again. So
yeah.
I think JoJo might have actually lost an hour and a half.
Yeah, the only thing on this new updated schedule that still strikes me as strange is the whole Hunter x Hunter being as late as it is.
It's got more episode number. It's got a higher episode count than Black Clover.
Yeah.
Do we think Boruto is going to maintain its second? It's going to be in the second slot.
It's going to fall consistently as new, bigger shows come in.
Probably.
I'm surprised Boruto is ahead of My Hero, but
I agree.
We'll see.
Super and Boruto, those two extremely famous things that kids might be watching.
Yeah, but I think My Hero has kind of gotten a pretty big following now as well.
It's third.
It's still not Naruto big though. You know,
I kind of view that show as like the new hotness. It's like it's the big thing right now. But anyway, I think I agree with you though, Grex. I think that Boruto, while a fine show, I think it will probably kind of move down the block as new things come onto the block to be promoted.
Yeah, whatever the new hotness is in 2020 or whatever, and Boruto is still airing.
One Punch Man is probably taking its slot sometime.
Ooh, yeah, I can see that. By the way, the previews for the new Mob Psycho, oh my god. I'm so happy to see that the show looks like it's going to be just as good as season 1.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Seda, you're definitely coming back for the first episode of next year because you love that brother shit.
I'm actually been pretty disappointed by it recently. I'll talk about it later, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway, I think that's all the news. So let's talk about the block. Let me get back to my schedule post. All right. My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia, episode 30, climax of the fight. Not something else. Don't get it confused.
God.
In this episode, they beat the shit out of Stain.
Yay.
Hooray. Hooray. But then it's like, too bad I have Nen / spiritual pressure / energy / hockey / chakra /
He has very strong Nen.
It is very clearly spiritual pressure because it like pushes people away or keeps them from moving forward.
It's just like visualized threat.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god.
Menacing.
Tangible intimidation.
The air feels heavy. So yeah, there's a pretty cool ending to this fight where everyone gets up at one time and they fuck him up by kicking him in like 3 different directions at the same time.
Yep.
And then he like lands on a protruding ice thing and dies.
I mean,
he like his rib got broken and he stabbed his own lung with his rib or something like that, and that's what killed him.
He he
He's
ain't
not
getting
dead.
up. No.
Oh, it didn't kill him.
No, he's still there.
What? Okay.
Nobody dies in superhero comics.
Well, I'm okay, but I'm just saying the way the show made it seem like he was out, like gone, like he was like he died standing up or something.
Oh,
But,
he fell unconscious standing
I
up.
don't think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Huh. Okay. Well, I didn't know that.
But no, hooray! Nobody died, except that one monster that Endeavor just literally incinerated his head.
Well, I mean, it was a monster.
Yeah. No moves
No.
don't really count as people. I don't
Do
think.
they though?
Well, I'm sure
No
they were
moves
probably
don't
a person at one point, but they're kind of like Frankenstein monsters, you know?
I just think it was funny because Gran Torino was like, I'm not gonna kill it, and then Endeavor's just like, your head's gone.
I thought it was kind of neat though that Gran Torino kept calling him Toshinori or whatever.
Todoroki. Toshinori is All Might's name. Don't get
There
those
you go.
confused. Especially don't get those confused.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Todoroki. He keeps calling Endeavor Todoroki, which is that's his name, but it's kind of because it's an old man thing for him to do, you know, because he probably knew Todoroki.
He was young.
Yeah, when he was young, yeah.
And he doesn't. I don't know what that means if he's not calling him by his hero name. Like, is that being disrespectful or?
or it could just be like, I knew you as Todoroki, so that's all I ever call you. Or
I believe he was probably like the teacher.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we know that Gran Torino taught All Might
at UA.
So it's very possible that Endeavor was in the same class, you know.
Yeah.
So that means, does Endeavor just not remember his fucking homeroom teacher?
Well, he's the kind of character who probably doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, he'd probably be like, I don't want to remember his name.
Whatever.
I'll call him old man. There was a funny character in this episode, though, that was, I have to assume, basically a take on Apache Chief. Do you remember him? It was okay. So when they went down the alleyway like an episode or two ago, there was.
He's the guy Stain was trying to kill.
Yes, yeah, that guy that got knocked down, and then
he's been around.
Yeah, he's been around, but I didn't think I'd ever put it together until this episode that I think he's like Apache Chief because he even has like a big A on his costume.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who he is either. He looks like a Native American style character, and
he's definitely appropriating his costume.
Something, yeah. I just thought it was funny. It's like, is that Apache Chief?
That's why Stain was killing. That's why Stain's like, the fuck. And then I'm gonna go for those Fortnite dance people.
Okay, I had to inform myself. Apache Chief is a Native American superhero from various Hanna-Barbera Super Friends cartoons. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'm showing my age here.
He was like a Super Friends guy.
He was on the Super Friends. Yes. He was. He would always go or something like that, and he would grow.
Oh boy! Oh no!
Yeah, I'm remembering it now. I'm like, yo, what were they thinking?
Now this podcast needs a content warning.
Yes, we do.
Not that it doesn't always.
It was a different time.
It needs a different content warning than normal.
I would not be surprised if the author has seen all of Super Friends.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, like, yeah, he seems like he's big into American comics and superheroes. So yeah.
Like one of these episodes is just going to be like, meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Well, they call them the League of Villains?
Yeah.
In this show, I think that's very similar to what they're called in the Super Friends. So.
What
yeah,
was
but they're not
Organization of Doom taken?
They're not in the swamps of Jersey, though.
No, they're called the Legion of Doom.
Yeah,
but anyway.
and they lived in the swamps of the Meadowlands in New Jersey.
Yeah, and then in like Brainiac ship or whatever that is.
Yeah, it's kind of like, why are you hanging out in the swamps of Jersey, bro?
Oh, is that where the whole New York Jersey rivalry comes from?
Well, no, I mean it's part of it. It's just
they were in the swamps of Jersey, and then they put Giant Stadium over top of them. So that was the end of that.
It's where the Jersey Devil lives.
Oh,
because it's like some kind of weird Jersey chupacabra thing.
Here's the thing I have to remember every few years. The reason the New Jersey Devils are called the Devils is because of the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Every few years, it's like, oh, duh.
It's the Jersey Devil. It's a good song, though.
Anyway, I was curious, how close are we to the end of season 2?
We've got like
close
an arc left.
Is this basically? I know this is maybe a minor spoiler, but is this basically the end of the Stain arc, or is there like?
Yeah, this is the end.
Okay, I didn't know if there'd be like some.
You might have next episode is probably like denouement.
Yeah.
And
but we're like maybe what? I'm feeling we're maybe like 5 or 6 episodes from the end of season 2.
We're probably like 6 or 7.
Oh, really? That close, huh?
Well, I mean the whole arc. Well, the whole tournament arc was the first half of the season, basically.
Yeah.
And then we've had how many episodes of the Stain stuff? So yeah.
It kind of feels like it went by pretty fast to me, at least. The I don't say it, but I am happy to note that I actually have no idea what happens next in this story. Like, I knew about the tournament and I knew about the Stain stuff. From this point on, I don't know anything about the story of My Hero Academia. I know nothing. So,
well, look forward to it.
Cool.
Do you guys want to talk about Clone Wars?
Yes, I actually do really want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Naruto Shippuden episode 230, Revenge of the Shadow Clones. In this episode, the Clone Wars begun, have they? I can't Yoda.
They also ended.
They also ended. Once again, I was maybe looking at some other articles on the internet while this episode was playing, so I just noticed that Naruto suddenly had clones with different personalities.
Yep.
Yeah, they did this weird thing in the episode where, like, they set it up like it's all going to be a dream sequence, kind of. But then, well, I guess it ultimately was. But the thing is that the clones rebelled before the dream sequence began. So they never really, like, retconned it in a way that it happened. So what happens is Naruto's got his clones, and they're all doing work on the ship. And they're getting pissed off about the fact that they got to do all this work on the ship. And they're just fucking shadow clones. So they shouldn't have free will or their minds of their own, but this episode gives them that. And then something falls and hits Naruto on the head, and now he sees 5 shadow clones that each have like a different part of his personality. So there's like the effeminate sort of Naruto with like the girly eyes. There's the like stubborn one. There's the happy one. Anyway,
the trust one.
Yes, and
dopey one.
And these guys basically have
that's
straight up a rebellion, and they're like equal rights for shadow clones.
They deserve
and that's
it.
the episode. That's the episode. And then just to skip to the end, he wakes up, and then the original 3 shadow clones are there, the ones that were complaining on the ship. So my point being that the shadow clones were always pissed off, which shouldn't happen. Unless you're wanting to say that shadow clones can think for themselves.
That's filler.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. And the idea that, like, he argues with his shadow clones. Because, like, I could almost forgive shadow clones if they are just, like, the copy of, or, like, under the control of the creator.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he's kind of puppeting them. It doesn't make any sense when they would do this.
The weird part was like he was resting, like in between doing stuff, and the shadow clones were resting too. It's like, why do shadow clones need to rest? Don't they just poof away?
Because they can't help it.
It's filler, so you don't think about it too much. But
no, it's almost worse though, because shadow clones are a part of the canon story. And this just really actually addresses a lot of legitimate questions I have about them. Like, are they material? Are they immaterial? I mean, they clearly punch and hit and move things.
Yeah.
I also wonder about the translation, because they sort of establish that there are other clones that are not, like, real. But, like, shadow clones are basically an exact copy. Like, they make this emphasis a couple of times that shadow clones, like, are a copy, but they're not. They're better than just like other clones, and the naming is weird. Like, why would they be called shadow clones then?
Yeah, and then
am I being correct in saying this?
Maybe. I mean, it's always a mystery to me. Like, one thing that they did reveal, and again, this is pre-dream sequence. They reveal for some reason that like the shadow clones can get tired, but like the actual ninja who created them was more tired because he created the shadow clones.
Well, no, it's because he gets all the knowledge and experience and that they get.
So he gets more tired because they got tired.
Yeah, like when he turns the clones off, everything they did, he did. So, if they're all exhausted.
But they were still on, though. But they were still on. And he was like, oh, I'm more tired than you guys because I created you.
I don't think that's how it's supposed to work. I think what it's supposed to work is if he has 3 clones out and they're all tired, and then he turns them off, then Naruto will be like triple tired.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just that, filler. They ain't got to get nothing right.
Filler, I ain't got to explain shit.
Pretty much.
Yeah, my question, I guess, really would be to somebody who's like a Naruto expert is like, have shadow clones anytime outside of this filler ever like done something like this or been like, anything but completely obedient, because it just doesn't make sense to me that they could just decide to go, oh no, I don't want to do this. Because then what are they?
It's filler. It's not supposed to make sense.
But shadow clones are real in this show. I mean, like if you create 10 shadow clones, are they just like puppets that you're manipulating, or are they literally straight up copies of you that act independently of you?
Yes.
He must have some direct control over there.
I think it's like he gives them an impulse and then they can execute it in a way that he would.
Well, there's been a couple of times in Boruto, actually, where Naruto is seemingly present in some place. And then he has like a conversation sometimes with his son, sometimes I think he was with Sai. And then he just like poofs away. It's like, oh, that was a shadow clone, actually. It's basically him. And when he poofs away, the real Naruto will have that experience too.
Yeah.
He literally eventually gets to the point when he's Hokage to be in 2 places at once, and like
it's literally a clone in that way, where it's like that movie Multiplicity or something, where you're just like creating clones of yourself to go do shit for you. Except in this case, they can be poofed away, and then you gain the conversation knowledge back, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, it's just, and then the whole episode, of course, it looked awful. The animation was terrible, the whole episode. And I just couldn't get over these, like, I don't know where they decided, I guess it was the dream sequence part where they just straight up decide to have, like, instead of just being clones, now they're like these characters. It's like Inside Out, that movie from Pixar. It's that.
Yeah, it sure wasn't. My favorite part was probably the point when like Yamato was like, I'll make a guarding cage, and then it's like, woohoo, we're safe. Wait.
No, you're not.
Wait, we're in a cage now. Shit. Also, guy in a Speedo.
Oh no! Don't. Why did you put that image back in my mind?
Please no.
We're almost done.
Because Man God is going to remind you of it multiple times a year anyway. So.
Yeah. That was completely. That's probably more fillery than anything.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, do you guys want to talk about Boruto?
Yep.
Boruto, episode 11, The Shadow of the Mastermind. In this episode, it's that part of the movie where previously it was only the 3 or 4 kids who were on the trail of the serial killer, but now they finally convinced all the other kids, and they're all going to beat up the killer.
Yeah.
Woo, the Goonies.
Yep.
The mail is serious business.
It is.
It is. That dude is like, I'm gonna throw mail at you, and everyone's like, oh no, mail.
And then
paper cuts hurt.
And then the one male dude is very serious about his job, and like, what did he do? He went to go shield a package with his body or something.
He threw himself on it like it was a grenade.
He's like, I must protect this package. But by the way, there's 1,000 letters being ripped and shredded around me, but I don't care about those. This package,
only this package.
And then he had some spiel that was like, people look forward to the mail. because it's
I can't wait every day I get credit card
see
offers and
see their smiling faces,
eviction notices and tax forms.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna get their ninja tax forms late. Ninjas don't pay taxes.
But anyways, we actually slightly moved along in this arc storyline where we sort of meet the person behind the ghost phenomenon. It's this person in a mask, and we saw them. They escaped from the mail area, and we saw them like exchange looks with Mitsuki, which sort of hints that he's aware or in on it or something, which, you know, they've been kind of teasing for a while in a way, or at least implying something. At least that's what I've been reading into it.
Yeah, I can't tell if Mitsuki is in cahoots or if he's just understands what's happening and is legit chasing the guy. I can't tell.
They basically exchanged eyes like in a sewer when the masked guy was about to escape. And then when Mitsuki basically came back, it was like, sorry, I lost them. He's lying because he didn't lose them.
Yeah,
but
that's
we don't know
true.
Exactly why. We don't know if maybe he's either in on it or he has like some other ulterior motive. Like, I want to keep this observation to myself and not tell anyone else yet.
I predict that he is not in on it, but he is just kind of a suspicious asshole, and they will eventually think he is in on it. But nope, turns out he was a good guy.
Something like that.
Who's still an asshole.
He's keeping it to himself. That seems like something he would do.
Yeah, I think I get the impression too that Mitsuki is probably a misunderstood good guy. That he is. They're kind of painting him like he's mysterious here, but he's probably not going to be a bad guy because he's one of the core team. You know, he's like the Sasuke in a way of this troop. So
he's in all the key art, basically.
Yeah, I just don't. I can't imagine him actually being evil. So one thing that was weird, and this can't be it, but there was one thing that's weird that I've noticed is that while everybody is chasing this dude in a mask around, the only character from the main group that wasn't there was Sarada. So she's missing, and I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's her in the mask, but I don't know why she wasn't there.
It actually is kind of. We haven't seen a lot of her yet.
No,
which is fine for now.
I mean, she was in the hospital, but then after that scene, you don't see her the rest of the episode.
Yeah, for a main character, we've seen her like 3 times.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of nice a couple episodes back when Boruto was taking on the fat actor, that we got a little bit of Boruto sort of teamwork. It's like we don't actually get to see teamwork in Naruto or this often, even in this really silly, stupid context. I appreciate that.
You know, I just realized too, they really haven't formed teams yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder who Boruto's team is going to be. Could it be the 3 people from the opening that are always next to him?
Yeah, maybe.
Could it be Sarada and Mitsuki? Literally the Jiraiya Orochimaru Tsunade team again?
Yep.
Yeah.
And someone actually mentioned in the thread how Shikadai is a main character, very obviously has been very evident and present in the show, but it seems very likely that he will not be on their team because, of course, he won't. He has to be on the team with Chocho and
Metal.
Not Metal. It's
the guy who voiced by Shinji.
Inojin.
Inojin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
the Inashika trio.
Oh yeah.
Because they have no creativity and are just going to pair the offsprings together.
Is a Leaf Village institution.
Another weird thing too in this episode is that we see Sai going around being Mr. Detective, and I just couldn't help but notice that he looks identical to the way he does in Shippuden.
I think his hair is very, very slightly longer.
Just a
maybe,
little bit.
But he looks and sounds unchanged to me.
The worst CSI spinoff, CSI Leaf Village, starring Sai. The other CSI characters they set him up for the quip before the opening theme, and then he just doesn't say anything because it's Sai.
Which it goes, yeah.
Horatio, what do you think about this?
I might be getting this episode mixed up with the previous episode, but which episode had the scene with Naruto and Hinata kind of just having a conversation while Boruto is sleeping?
That was last episode.
Okay, I mean, like that was a nice moment. It's obviously nostalgic for people who are Naruto fans, but also, introducing and like kind of giving us perspective on like the new character and the old.
I think it's the first time that Naruto has actually been portrayed as actually like a father in this new series so far. He's pretty much otherwise just been the Hokage busy work guy.
Still sounds like a child, though.
I actually don't mind it that much, really.
I can't get over it. I heard some of Goku's Japanese voice for like maybe the first time ever because I watched a Watch Mojo video. Oh my god!
Yeah, it's bad, isn't it?
Oh my god! What the hell? Oh.
That's what happens when you have a character like that that's so beloved in Japan that you can't. They can't change it now. Unfortunately.
Well, until they die.
They would probably find someone to do the same take.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super episode 91. Which universe will survive? The strongest warriors are all coming together. This is a title that could refer to literally any episode of this arc.
Yeah, we've had like 10 episodes that fall into that description.
It's still happening. Things are happening. They're building the thing.
I'm honestly having a very hard time remembering what happened in this episode.
It was basically just like, hey, Zenos, want to check out how things are going along for everyone? All right, here we go. Goku's universe. Everything's going great except Boo fell asleep.
Again.
Gee, I wonder who they could possibly get to replace Boo. I guess they'll finally have... I think the joke here. I think the joke here is they're setting it up for you to be like, they're really going to call Yamcha? But no, it's not Yamcha. It's someone else.
It might be Yamcha.
We saw Hit recruit Frost.
Yeah.
Who is like homeless now.
Frost is now a dude in a cloak in the streets. Then he runs into Hit. He's like, "Oh, please don't kill me!" Ah.
Yeah, and then we cut to Top and the guy who, who looks like Bugs Bunny from that terrible one show. I forget the name of.
Lunatics,
yeah, that guy. So they're trying to get this other guy to join the team, and he's busy rescuing an alien cat from a tree or something.
I love what they're doing with this team. Is that basically they're like the best people.
Yeah, they can't even take time to go and save the universe because they're doing too many good deeds.
Yeah,
I could teleport up there, but then the cat might jump and get caught in the wires.
Exactly.
I have to climb very slowly. Oh, these guys are great.
Then we cut over to, this is my favorite, we cut over to Universe 10, where Goasu is trying really hard to get that God Tube gold play button, because he's filming his Super 10 team doing dance moves.
One of those guys was just a bird.
Yeah, we were also introduced to Brienne or Rebrienne or.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
we got magical girls in our Dragon Ball now.
Sailor Moon has been invited to the Universal, the Tournament of Power. This is going to be great. Everyone's going to love it when she's like Vegeta's main rival. Like Vegeta has to deal with this person the whole time. Also,
or just what you want to happen.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know details, but anyway. Meanwhile, in the furry universe, they suck. They're gonna die.
Oh, their entire universe is just imploding.
Like their brilliant strategy of walk into a city, yell, "They're gonna destroy the universe! Please fight to stop it!" is not working.
No, it just turned into everyone, looting and pillaging, and who thought the evil universe would be so evil?
Are they specifically the evil universe?
I mean, they really seem like the evil universe.
Yeah, they have not shown a character from that universe who does not come across as evil. Even their version of Goasu or Supreme Kai or whatever is like an asshole.
A shifty fucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did anything else happen in this episode?
No.
No, it was like a recap episode for things that were going on. And
like
then
introducing a few more characters who are going to be in the tournament.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it was just ultimately the cliffhanger was, he won't wake up.
Who in the universe could possibly fill out this 10th slot?
But it can't be that because we've seen the opening. He's standing with everybody.
Dude.
Maybe he wakes up.
Yeah.
You don't know.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler right now.
Don't.
The opening lied.
Don't do it. Monster.
Who actually does sleep through the entire Tournament of Power.
No. But they bring him anyway because he's just so lovable.
No, it's something different.
Well, how do you...
Okay, you can stop there. I don't want to know anymore.
This is one of the things where it's almost impossible not to be spoiled for. So,
but
anyway.
The strategy is you just allow Boo to sleep. Even when he's sleeping, no one will be able to damage him. He'll just be like a distraction. Like people will try to help him out.
I mean, for the record, like Boo is a liability whether he's there or not. So,
I think the problem is that if Boo is asleep, they can just throw him out of the ring.
He might actually wake up if someone tries that.
Nope.
He's the wild card they need. The unpredictable.
Exactly. He's the wild card we deserve in this tournament.
Oh, I can think of somebody even wilder.
No, it's Boo. We deserve
next
him.
Year. I'm going to look at what the next episode title is. And
we saw the preview for the next episode showed Khalifa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, she got Super Saiyan.
So it's probably, I forget his name, or Kaba teaching her how to go Super Saiyan. And my guess is she probably figures it out very quickly. Like, oh, that was easy. Because becoming Super Saiyan is apparently very easy now.
Oh, it's easier than you think.
I kind of like, though, that this is Toriyama's way of getting around there not being more Saiyans, is that there's just other universes and some of them have Saiyans.
Yeah. Rather than it is a slightly more acceptable response to that, rather than there was another Saiyan that just happened not to be on Planet Vegeta when it blew up. Oh, then there was another one and another one.
That's basically the problem. Universe. It's the same problem that Superman has, where they're just like, oh, there was another Kryptonian.
Or Star Wars, where it's like all the Jedi were destroyed except Obi-Wan and this other guy and a bunch of the extended universe stuff. That's no.
And those characters who show up in those Disney XD TV shows and stuff.
Yeah. There are actually quite a few Jedi that were not killed at the Order 66.
Yeah,
I'm shocked. Anakin half-assed the whole thing.
Anyways.
Anyway.
So do we have any indication on when another Dragon Ball show might be coming?
I would not.
Obviously, Broly is the next
until after Broly is out.
I hope the delay to getting it in English is not as long.
I hope so too.
That was like a year and a half. That was
because we are. Oh man, we only have 130. It's 100. We only have. Dragon Ball Super is 131 episodes, I think.
I'm pretty sure I have this updated. It'll finish, and this is including the Christmas marathon.
Okay.
We still have a ways left, actually.
We basically have most of the year.
Next December, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's actually going to make next year. It's
I was thinking it was more mid-year. I was thinking it was more mid-year, but no, it's basically
because there's
all of next
40
year.
episodes.
Yeah. Anyway.
What I want them to do, I don't want them to do this, but I think it'd be neat, is if they took, if they needed something to base it off of, maybe do the storyline from Fighters. Take that and introduce Android 21. I think that would be kind of neat.
Do that, though?
No, what they're going to do is they're going to take the Broly movie and turn that into a 13 episodes arc.
Yeah. Or just pretend that it happened in the show and be like, didn't see Broly? Fuck you. Should have seen Broly.
Do we know if Broly takes place after the TV series?
Yes.
It has to.
I'm pretty sure it's meant to be like
it's the sequel to
the show. Everything happens in Super, then Broly happens, and then presumably more stuff will happen in Super. So.
Yeah, like it's coming back. We all know it is.
It's gonna be. It might not be called Dragon Ball Super, but they're gonna make another show.
Yeah, I mean they haven't announced it, but we all know.
Toonami has to have new Dragon Ball. They have to. If they don't, they'll immediately explode. Okay. Dragon Ball. Welcome to the Grand Tour. Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho 100, Episode 7. Exaltation. I've obtained loss. Okay, Seda, out with it.
What?
Why do you think these episodes aren't good?
I feel like, now, I don't know what happens after this, but the whole thing about brothers being like jealous of each other and becoming like rivals, and one of them being like a tragic character, which seems to be Ritsu at this point, is not very interesting to me. Like it feels like Akira or whatever, where like he's super jealous of his brother's powers, and he gets his own powers and is kind of going overboard with it, and he's done some not morally good things with being a class. He's kind of become like the bad guy in the class president.
Yeah,
like he's even turned on him, like kind of becoming his superior.
I liked how the class president had to eat shit this entire episode.
So I'm just not. If it just turns out that he's like, whether or not he's either a villain or he becomes like incredibly remorseful for what he's done recently, I don't know. Like both of those outcomes to me are like not interesting.
Well,
it feels like I've seen it before in either way, like in other shows and other games, and it's just like I wonder if there's going to be a twist on it that makes it more interesting than that. But
stay tuned for next year.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens. I don't know. I don't quite remember how this whole thing goes.
I guess to put it short, I feel like I've seen too much fiction that has this sort of setup between brothers or friends or whatever, and I've seen it resolved in different ways. But like, if this is just gonna feel like that again, it's just, I don't know. It has to do something different to be interesting to me.
Well, Seacaller, what did you think? He's not here.
No, he is not.
Oh, sorry, I had my mic muted by mistake. I continue to think this show is amazing, and I'm not just talking about the animation, which is just next level. Like, I am having to really reconsider what I think is the best television animation I've seen because of this show. But it's really good. I'm liking this team up between Mob's brother and Dimple. I kind of like that.
It's so good.
He kind of uses Dimple as a conduit to amplify his own inherent psychic powers. There's always funny stuff happening in this episode. I can't, unfortunately, think of any off the top of my head. There definitely were, but this is one of those shows when it's on, I don't post in the thread because I'm too fixed on it. It's so good.
Ritsu, when he sees Dimple, he immediately does the thing where he's just like, knee him in the face.
Yes. Oh, and then there was the scene too where Teru comes back and he's got 150% hair. It's like a big Marge Simpson wig that he's wearing. And
man, those two bullshitters got bullshitted the fuck out of the room by the master.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes. This was a really good episode for him. He's like, I see right past all this bullshit.
Your breath smells. That's $100 million. You're afraid of my suit. $1 million. Your voice is annoying. $1 million.
Yeah, every time Regan comes onto screen, I pretty much am like liking him even more.
He's a good character. I love how every episode Mob basically says like, man, if someone ever conned me, I'd explode them. Isn't that funny, Mob?
What's cool though is that like he's not really even scared. I don't think too much. I mean, he is a little bit, but like he's kind of cocksure in his ability to basically mislead people.
Yeah.
Because he straight up tells Mob, he's like, yeah, there's all kinds of people out there who will try to scam you. He's the one doing it, you know.
He is the best.
I also liked how I like all of these other like random middle school gang leaders, which every middle school has to have one for some reason. Like
yeah, they even have like a map that shows like the districts.
Featuring Smugface, dude who is 17 feet tall, old guy.
Yeah, the one that's really tall, his name was Fuji.
Yeah. That's the part where Ritsu just like makes him go. Oh, the physical comedy in this show is real good. This show is real good. It's hard to talk about though.
Yeah.
Next episode. You want some animation, man.
I'm not even surprised anymore. I expect it at this point. It's so good.
Well, anyway. Good show is good. Do you want to talk about Megalobox?
Yep.
Sure.
Megalobox, episode 2.
So Chris doesn't have to. I'll just talk right over you while I'm at it.
The man only dies once. In this episode, Creed fights Drago and gets blown the fuck out.
Yep.
I assume that happened in that movie.
Yeah, no, he gets killed.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen the I'm not going to punch you with my right arm thing before somewhere.
Literally everything ever made, ever.
Yeah. It's like, I don't need to use my right arm. I'll just use my left.
But it is pretty awesome when at first he's like, oh, I can totally hold you off with one arm, and then you finally make him use the other arm, and it's like, oh.
Didn't the Frieza Goku Namek fight start with Frieza not using his arms at all?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Like, I'll just fight with my legs and tail or whatever.
And that time Netero was like, get this ball away from me, but I won't use my arms. Or like, make me use my arms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They almost did, which is extremely incredible based on what we know now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, so he has a boxing match with Yuri. He loses despite making him use both his arms, and then he's like, come back and fight me.
Yeah, I mean, the cool part was that, like, Yuri was convinced he'd won. And he technically did, but, like, he's leaving because, like, he's not getting up. But then Junk Dog does get up, which is kind of like, see, you don't know everything, Yuri.
And then Yuri is impressed enough, and he kind of leaves it open where he's like, if you want to fight me again, you have to do it in my arena.
He just points to the WrestleMania banner.
There is your impetus for the show going forward. Like, we know he wanted to do Megalonia, or Junk Dog did, but he needs a name now. He can't just be called Junk Dog. So, Joe.
I like just picking Joe.
Yeah.
Like, just
I will say
an average Joe.
I will say, though, the way the show did that scene kind of rubbed me a little the wrong way, because it's so obviously doing it in a fan servicey way, where he's like, call me Joe, and then he's kind of grinning, and then everybody else in the room's like, Joe, I like Joe, and it's like, okay, we get it, yes, we know. That's for the Joe, that's for the whatever the no Joe fans, you know.
They did set this up previously because he saw the billboard that said, like, that was something about like living in the city, not for the average Joe.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, but so I mean, the way the scene was, it was like, haha, did you see? He used the name.
Yeah,
you know.
Call me Batman.
I feel like Megalobox might be one of those shows where I almost appreciate it more just in the context of the Toonami blocks because it feels just a little bit different from the other shonen we get. Like just the fact that it adds a slightly different taste.
This is basically a sports show.
Yeah.
It's got all the sports show like progression.
It's kind of hard to say this, but this feels like a show that might only appear on Toonami. I don't know if that sounds right, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just got that look and
this
that
seems
tone.
Like a perfect fit for sci-fi.
Yeah.
More commercial
even that, yeah. Because it's so serious. You know? Most shonen shows are a mix of comedy and drama. This show, there's no comedy in this show.
Oh, there's comedy.
Well,
not quite yet, but look.
Okay, there hasn't been.
It's
been pretty serious. It's been Cowboy Bebop type tone, you know?
They haven't introduced the requisite hanger-on street urchin character yet.
I'm sure he's coming up soon.
No, I'm serious. He's coming up next episode.
I did figure he's coming soon in next episode. I was about to say that.
Does Megalobox have an Ein character?
I'm sure it does.
Character?
A mascot pet.
No.
Are you sure?
They don't have a dog.
A cat?
They do have a. It does have an Ed though.
All right.
Well, I mean, every show needs an Ed.
There is no pet. Yuri has a dog though.
Oh yes, he had a dog.
He has got a good boy.
Yep.
All dogs are good boys.
Yep.
Also, he's apparently somehow the future of the company. Somehow. I'm sure that'll work out for you.
Wait, what do you mean?
The scene with Yuri at the super nice house where Yukiko Shirato comes in and he's like, don't be doing that shit. You're the future of this company.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty clear. I mean, just knowing that this is a show, like it's pretty clear not just going to be a tournament, at Megalonia. It's not just going to be that. There's going to be some questionable corporate behavior, scheme, illegal stuff going on that somehow mixes into the plot here. I mean, come on.
Also, another thing this reminds me of is Macross Plus. You guys ever seen that?
I'm not familiar.
Okay. Well, anybody who has, I think they would understand what I'm saying. Like, the look of the character designs and the way that the characters act in this show, it's kind of similar. And there's a bit of a kind of a rivalry between a really tall, big guy and the younger, hot-blooded guy.
Oh, you mean every rivalry in anime?
Well, this maybe. It's not every anime, but like
every rivalry in sports shows.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, it kind of reminds me of that show too.
Anyway,
I'm interested in seeing what happens next.
We also get introduced to this gangster who definitely does not eat people.
Nope, he does not do that.
Nope. Definitely not. That dude getting tortured in the other room is definitely not getting turned into soup stock.
I was going to say bacon.
Made from bone. This dude literally talking about, you can, if you boil the bones really good, you can get equal amounts of stock.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this dude eats people.
It kind of sucks, though, that, like, they're forced to do this because of this mob guy. It's not just Joe wanting to do the fight. They also have to do it.
Yeah.
This is oh, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying. It's just like the motivation is more than just the rivalry, and now it's like the one dude's life's on the line. Who's, by the way, is just not a very good character. Like, I know he's meant not to be, but it's just kind of like he's just a real kind of scummy guy.
He's that dude who's like, you have to really sift through all that mud to find the heart of gold in there.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. Pretty sure that was all for this episode, so let's talk about JoJo. Eat some food. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable, episode 16. Let's go hunting. I like how Jotaro just opens up this episode being like, Josuke, get in, we're going hunting.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they're doing.
We're hunting wabbits.
They're hunting rats.
Wabbits.
That turn people into
Oafs.
body horror, and then, you know.
This was a gross episode.
Yeah.
Oh, what? You don't like moaning people turned into a loaf?
No.
No, it was a bit much.
And then, like, later in the show, Jotaro's hand is like, he looked like the guy who got splashed with toxic waste in RoboCop.
Yeah. Man, this is a gross episode, and maybe the weakest one.
I mean, I do kind of like the episode because, you know, it turns these two rats into a legitimate enemy, and I think that's cool. But is something happening?
What?
Nothing.
No, it was okay. That was weird.
Suddenly there was a huge fan sound.
Yeah. No, it turns these two rats into this one rat into a legitimate enemy, and I was kind of reminded of that movie Mouse Hunt. You know, where the two guys are chasing the mouse around the whole, you know, thing, and they're trying to kill it. And God damn it, we can't kill the mouse. And then by the end of it, they
know what the Photoshop you have to do for this episode is.
Well, except for the fact that unlike Mousetrap or Mouse Cat, whatever it's called, that mouse is like this adorable little like mischief character.
I remember that's a movie I saw multiple times as a kid on VHS.
Mm-hmm.
That mouse literally has a bed. It gets in bed and pulls sheets over itself.
Yeah,
it's so cute.
Yeah, I mean
it's
that's
adorable.
Locked a dude in a trunk to starve and die.
But in JoJo though, these rats, these things are freaking terrifying. They're like monsters, and they have like superpowers.
Yeah, but at the end of it, much like Mouse Hunt, Jotaro is respecting the rat. Well, like he has to show the rat respect because he's like, game recognizes game.
The whole concept of like a wild animal having a superpower is kind of really creepy to me because you don't know what they're going to do. Like you can't reason with it.
It basically turns.
Remember the orangutan? Yeah,
orangutan's a bad example.
It's basically like I'm a human.
Yeah, the worst though, the one you're thinking
Iggy.
of, what's that bird?
Pet Shop.
Oh, the Pet Shop. I mean, they had like 3 or 4 animals that had stands in the last series, so it was like, oh, okay.
Oh, here you go. Here's a question for you then. Was Pet Shop shot by the arrow?
No, I like to imagine that Pet Shop is just the meanest motherfucker on the face of the earth and always had a stand.
Pet Shop is just the baddest bird ever.
One day he just was like suddenly like, I must go to Egypt, and then he just flew in, landed on Dio, and Dio was like, "Damn, man, you're awesome. Let's go."
Yeah, he was very much like, yes, this is where I belong.
I don't know that anyone got shot with the arrow in part 3. I think all of those were natural born stand users.
Really? I could. Okay. I mean, you might be right, but I could totally see some of them. Because I like that idea that, like, we know Enyaba or whatever had the arrow, so.
I kind of wish Rohan was just a natural born stand user, though.
I mean, it'd probably be better, but, you know. Like it's funnier this way that Dio's just running around. That Dio and Enyaba just sort of made a shit ton of stands just to fuck around. And then it's still coming back to bite them in the ass.
It's funny how all these monsters were created by this one dumbass.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Like, good job, dumbass. Anyway, don't worry, Josuke totally healed those dudes.
Yep.
They just did it off. He said he was going to do it. They did it off screen. They don't need to actively show it to you.
Nope.
Obviously, they didn't just leave them there as a loaf in the fridge.
Well, the real question, though, I mean, he may have healed their bodies, but did he heal their minds? Because I'm pretty sure at that point they would have been like clinically insane.
Look, man, Shining Diamond can't fix people's shit tastes and everything. It also can't fix your PTSD.
Yeah, those two old people are unfortunately ruined for life, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did get to see Jotaro say, "The world!"
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that he's calling it the world, too. I kind of expected him just to be on a, like, Star Platinum or some shit.
I agree.
Well, he
I
called
thought
it
was
Star
strange.
Platinum the world.
Yeah. Like,
And then he immediately followed it up with a good grief. So he puts his own spin on it.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. I'm kind of like, I didn't entirely expect that, for him to call it the world. And, I kind of wish he'd use it more because it's awesome. And he'd probably wreck everyone's face if he did.
It's part of the novelty, though, of it being so rare.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we see, this is like the most we see him do it, and he gets wrecked by a rat.
Yeah, like
that image where it's like Jotaro versus Dio, and he's like, "I'm awesome." Jotaro versus a mouse. Oh fuck.
Well, he did deliberately let himself get hit, though.
Yeah,
that was part of the plan.
The first time, he was deliberately letting himself get shot at.
Yeah, you're right. He should have dodged them all, you'd think, but he didn't.
After the second blow, where he's like, "Oh fuck, that rat just did what?"
It like ricocheted off a rock or whatever.
Yeah.
I like the theory that the world is mostly just like shock and awe, and the animal is just like not having any of that bullshit. It's like, fuck you. You moved this direction. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take that into account.
Jotaro's outfit looked weird in this episode too.
He glued a triangle to his coat.
Yeah.
Of course he did. It's awesome that way.
And he is so that white suit is so good.
So yeah, it was basically a bonding episode for these two characters, and an episode for Jotaro to sort of like show Josuke how to like man up.
I wonder how much effort it takes to keep that white suit white. That'd be easy.
Don't worry, there's Japanese school uniform tailors everywhere. Based on part 3, where he just like in the middle of Pakistan got a new suit, a new coat that looked exactly like the old one.
Does can Josuke use Shining Diamond on his own clothes?
Yeah, he should be able to.
Yeah, he's used it on non organic things, like moving things. So. It's not just healing; it's also like putting.
Well, I just meant because it's his clothes. Like I know he can't use it on himself.
Yeah, but it's not part of him.
It's not part of him. Okay, all right.
But he'd never have to mend a button ever again.
No.
Anyway, do you want to talk about Black Clover?
No, but we're going to.
Black Clover, episode 50, End of the Battle, End of Despair. And sure, it's the end, finally. I was like, look, I was expecting that dude to get up again and start yelling.
I kind of wish he did.
But nope, he didn't.
This was like a recap episode.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened.
It was basically the characters were like sitting around, like injured in bed or whatever, and kind of all just talking about what happened. Like Magna was like, I can't believe they got me. I'm going to become better now so they won't get me again. And then the one girl lost her voice.
And then the Fishman Island people all started cheering for them. Mm-hmm. And they got food. And they were treated to a feast. And then at the end of the episode, they were leaving.
We got a credit sequence.
And what's her name? They couldn't sing anymore because her vocal cords were ripped out, started singing. Because
but it was like, I'm singing like this.
Yeah. But still, I'm like, you should be completely mute. You have no vocal cords. They got ripped out.
She's now in one of those anti-smoking commercials. Hey, did you guys know that whole truth thing is actually funded by the cigarette companies because they're legally required to do so?
Yeah, legally, they're not allowed to sell the cigarettes unless they also give a bunch of money to the government to make those ads.
Yeah, they have to, as a self-regulatory thing, they have to produce anti-smoking advertising. Yeah.
And
of course they decided to make it as insufferable as possible, so people would actively want to spite it by going and smoking.
I will say that honestly, you remember those like party things from One Piece at the end of the arc, and then everybody has a party and Luffy eats a lot and Zoro drinks, and then maybe Robin goes off and does something that's going to be important 50 episodes down the line.
Yeah.
Yep. This felt like a really shitty version of one of those.
Yeah.
Watch Mojo named Everyone versus Veto as one of the 10 best anime fights of the year. What are you doing? But okay, sure, I can buy that there's not 10 amazing anime fights in a year. Yeah. You'd have to fill it out with some shit, but come on! Mm-hmm.
Well, B-dubs, you don't have to be alone because apparently Yami doesn't know who the blue-haired girl is either, so... He's like, who is this?
It literally is amazing how this has completely deleted itself from your memory.
Honestly, I love Yami because he speaks for me. He says what I'm thinking. Like, he's like, all right, let's end this. Like, who the hell are you? You guys suck. That's just Yami's existence, is to say all the things I would say to these characters.
Yep.
So they got the, in terms of something we all care about, the larger storyline in play here. they got the like stone thingy.
Yeah, remember the whole point was they needed to get the MacGuffin before the bad guys got it.
I don't know if I'm forgetting something here, but we know the bad guys want it. We don't know why the bad guys want it, so they decided they're going to get the stones before the bad guys. That's basically what we know.
Yep. Congratulations, you guys have. It's literally like we need the MacGuffin because then the bad guys won't have the MacGuffin.
Yep. Well, it's even worse than that. Mm-hmm. They apparently the long-haired wizard guy is like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like straight up literally doesn't know what this thing is. And then that little bird mascot character is the one who finds it. So they almost were like, oh, there isn't one here, but then the bird just happens to bring it back from who knows where.
Yeah.
Oh, remember when I think this was this episode when like they did a small scene with Asta and Yami. Like, I bet Veto was really troubled.
Yes.
I feel bad for him.
They gave him a burial, remember?
Yeah, it's just like, come on. Come on.
The guy was a murdering psychopath.
Yeah, but he was our murdering psychopath. We spent years in this cave together.
Because they're the good guys, I guess. They have to do this.
Yeah, every villain is sad.
Yeah.
They could have been friends if only literally every other thing in their entire lives had gone differently.
Yeah.
But don't worry, that dude is going to definitely do his dance, which consists only of spinning around again. He's going to make it back.
Wait, somehow. What are you talking about?
Remember when they're all leaving and, Kahano and her brother.
Oh, the dancing guy,
dude who twirls.
Who's like missing his leg.
We're still going to achieve our dreams. And he was like, I'm going to dance again. It's like, dude, you can spin in place on one foot.
Yeah, so then they teleport out and I think this is like the second to last episode of the original run of this series.
Yep. Yeah. There's like one more episode, and then we jump into what is effectively season 2, but I think at this point we can just expect it to be an endless shonen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hooray! Hey, an episode recently came out that looks kind of crazy. So I've seen those images. I've seen those gifs.
Yeah, like it doesn't look like hot garbage.
They do the pain fight thing.
Yeah. It's one of those
considerable improvement over what we get normally. So if there's one episode that's animated interestingly, that's better than 0 episodes animated.
Yeah. I mean, I still have doubts that, it's going to actually be a good episode, but, whatever.
It's something.
Yeah. But it won't be horrible in every single possible way.
There was like one episode of that Beto fight. Like there was a couple of episodes where they had like 2-3 second like spurts of good animation among a bunch of bad. Like it felt like you could like tell them they were trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even the finale with Yami, like his attack was really good looking too.
Yeah, there was that one episode in the Veto fight that was like competently animated, let's just say 85-90% of the time through the episode. But there's like 5, 6, 7, 8 episode stretches where it was not. So
pretty consistently Black Clover will like insert 5 seconds of Sakuga into an episode that's like 95% looking pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where like characters are almost off model half the time, so
it feels like Naruto Shippuden in that way. Well, Naruto Shippuden, I guess, is even more like delineated between like this episode looks good and this episode looks shit.
Yeah. That's the difference. Is that Shippuden will like just farm out whole episodes to better animators. This show will just give like 12 seconds of animation to a good animator.
But I remember there was a stretch of episodes there, I think like at the beginning of this Veto arc stuff, where there was like, it felt like 10 episodes in a row where it was really bad. So it doesn't hit very often on the animation front. Anyways.
Remember that part where Yami was like, hey, fluffy sheep? He doesn't even know these people's names. He's just like, hey, sheep. Hey, drunk person. Who the fuck are you? Yeah. I'm B-Dubs. Who the fuck are you?
Wait, what?
Gray.
Oh. I don't know who that is.
I do think I am very, very slightly amused that the sheep girl is like somewhat competent.
The sheep girl turned those other wizards into like tiny little dog. Like she pulled a Darby.
Yeah.
Well, like not only can she put up her own in a fight sometimes, but like she actually has the ability to like keep these people contained and captured too.
I'm assuming the reason she's in the Black Bulls is because she fell asleep during the test.
Yeah,
Yami just picks people because he thinks they're funny or interesting. He doesn't pick them because they're competent. But I'm with you though. Then like she's one of the like characters I actually like on this show, and I know she's not like a great character or anything, but like I find her humorous enough and competent enough that I'm like, yeah, okay.
Her shtick is one of the most tolerable.
Yeah. What she has going for her, she's not infuriatingly stupid like the rest of the cast. She's only mild.
Yeah, I mean,
and also confusing.
Yeah, I mean, she's asleep most of the time, so she doesn't have time to be stupid.
Well, she does, but not as
much time. Yeah,
consistently. Anyway, let's go on to the next show, please.
Yay, Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter episode 123, Centipede in Memory. Oh boy, did you like people loafs? Well, here's centipedes in your skull.
You know, I think the fact that that he's an octopus made it not feel as bad. Because like
it was still pretty
mostly
gross.
Air anyway. You know?
I mean, it was still pretty gross. What with the crawling around and the.
But I do think it would be like even grosser if it was in like one of the humans' brains.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because he's like basically an octopus. It's like, okay, he's stretchable. I guess it's okay.
It's a little bit more believable, and like how he has stretchy skin, whereas his body is weird anyway.
Now here's something I thought I would never ever say. This episode actually kind of made me like Welfin a little bit. Because he gives this whole speech about how, like, he's like, I've been a coward my whole life and such and so forth. And if this is something I can do, it's going to put me at rest and all this other stuff. And I'm like, huh, he's kind of not as terrible as he's made out to be.
I agree. Like, it was believable. Like,
yeah.
It didn't feel like a bullshit, like, sob story or something like that. He gave a little bit of information on his past. Like, the last thing he remembers is his dad, I think, choking him when he was a human. Probably because...
And I like to give characters and people in real life and everybody this, like, if you're willing to come straight on something that's, about yourself, like, that's really morally good of you to do that. Like, he's straight up, he basically let the dude go, and he was just like, I'm not going to say anything. I don't know. It was just really a very well done, redeeming moment for an otherwise terrible character.
Terrible person, not bad character.
Right, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, his personality, yeah.
Man, he was just... I still can't get over how fucking, like... That dude was scared of his own shadow.
Yeah.
My shadow will betray me. He had a lot of good freaked out faces this episode.
It was well animated for being basically a confrontation between a wolf and an octopus.
I think that's a great point. It was. I mean, I noticed that too. Like, this was an excellently detailed and great character animation study for what is basically just two people talking to each other the whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm trying to think if anything else happened.
Something happened at the very end of the episode. The very end.
I don't remember.
Palm. Remember?
Oh,
Palm?
yes. Oh, yeah.
So basically, Welfin, after kind of coming to terms with himself, he tells Ikalgo where Palm is. He doesn't know her name is Palm, but he's like, they captured her, and here she is. She's in this room up here that you can go to. And then it showed Palm coming out of a cocoon. People basically spoiled in the thread that she became an ant, and like, I don't know if she became an ant in a different fashion or a different method than what is normal, because I didn't know that was possible without a queen, but P2 did something, who knows. I don't know if that's important or not, but she now has scales on her arm, and it seems like a jewel on her head. So
yeah, it's like she's been transformed in some way.
Like, all the other ants became ants because the queen was there and made them ants, so it's not quite the same. I don't know.
Yeah, they were children of the queen. This is not that. This is more like a Frankenstein monster kind of scenario to me. At least that's what it looks like. Yeah. She's just been transmogrified into something else.
I don't know if B-Dubs is holding his tongue here because he knows, but he can't tell us. So, but yeah, she is not human anymore, clearly. So yeah, we don't know if we don't know if her personality is intact or if she's totally been turned or what's going to happen. So it's kind of an interesting twist on everything else going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like the king is fighting, Netero at this point, and the other ants are on their way, and the royal guard's on their way to try and help, but they're probably not going to make it in time. And so there's really nothing else for everyone left to do other than sit around and wait for Gon and Pito to do something.
Yeah, the only other group that's...
Right now, again?
What's that?
Is not Poof.
Poof and Yuppie are heading to the fight scene where the king is fighting.
Is most of Poof's body still with P2 and he has like a fairy?
No, most of Poof's body is with Yuppie. He's just leaving like the bare minimum to pretend to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a shell. It like looks like him, but you look behind him and then there's not. It's like a cardboard cutout. It's literally a cardboard cutout.
Okay.
Huh.
I wasn't quite sure how that worked. Like, he split like a small part of him off, and that
small part
of him became like.
I think initially he did that. I think initially he sent just one of his little butterfly versions away, but now
he like transported mass of himself to his fairy. Now, like 90% of him is with Yuppie, and 10% of him is
Yeah.
with P2 in that room. So.
What he had to do, he said, was like send them all away in a very small stream, because
so
it just was like something like
no one didn't notice.
They noticed.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, Hunter x Hunter.
This will end mid next year.
Mid next year.
Yeah, but isn't there like a second like little arc after this one?
Yes. There's one more arc that deals with the fallout for this one and bridges the next major arc.
That we will never see ever.
It seems like it's a pretty decisive. It's a pretty solid ending point for the anime. Like, obviously, the story won't be over, but it's not.
No, I mean, if you were going to end the series at any point without it keep going, where the anime ends is pretty much the perfect spot.
Let's see, we're on 123. We've got till 148, so like 25 episodes.
It's just that everything that comes after the anime is like so unbearably awesome that, you know, it pains me that it's never going to get animated.
Did this show end by design, or did it end just because they
ran out of stuff?
I'm pretty sure there was still some stuff after that was already done, but Togashi works like at this point I think he's hitting about 2 volumes a year. So, you know,
it might have just made most sense. This is a good ending point now. We could adapt like more, but we wouldn't be able to stop at any good point after that.
Yeah, like they'd have to stop in the middle of an arc.
Yeah, so it may be...
So like in 3 or 4 years they could make another series. That's a continuation.
No, absolutely. I think we're a good chunk of the way through the next arc, and I think there's like a season or 2 worth of content already. But yeah, I mean, after the next arc ends, I wouldn't be surprised if they went back and animated it.
Just as long as they get Bones back to do it.
You mean Madhouse?
I thought it Madhouse.
Oh, Madhouse. I'm sorry. Did I say Bones?
Yeah.
Well, both those houses are good. So
yeah. I mean, the next arc is basically like Game of Thrones in a blender with Nen powers. Even crazier powers than you've already seen.
Is Leorio in it?
Yes, he is.
Cool.
Kind of. It's mostly Kurapika.
Wait. Oh, you're talking about the one after the next one.
Yeah, the one after the next one.
Oh, yeah. If you want Kurapika, guess what? You're going to get a bit of Kurapika and a lot of literally 5 million other people who you will never keep track of.
But there's also Terror Sandwich. He likes to peel people's skin off.
Okay, we probably don't talk too much about manga only.
You'll never, ever see it. It doesn't matter.
We will forget about it in 10 years when we finally get to watch it dubbed on TV.
Yeah.
Togashi and George R.R. Martin are just sitting in a cave like, fuck those people. We're never writing shit again.
Well, like Martin's more likely to finish the last of the Game of Thrones books before Togashi finishes this arc.
Is it currently on hiatus again?
Yes, it is. It's apparently coming. It's apparently coming back soon, though.
I don't believe that George R.R. Martin will ever write another Game of Thrones book.
No, apparently he's in the middle of writing that last one.
I think eventually he comes out and says something to the effect of, "They made a fucking series. Go watch it."
It wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, like from my understanding of where he is with the writing of it and the series and all that, the problem he's having is ending it in a way that isn't complete craziness, because apparently there's like 2 books worth of filler that the TV show was like, yeah, we can just cut these out. And I think he might be just trying to figure out how to make those 2 books matter.
Or did he just give them an ending point? It's like, get here.
Oh yeah, no. He basically told them where he's going to end. And then they basically went, all right, so here's how we're going to get there. And it basically involved cutting like 1 or 2 full books. Because they apparently didn't matter and cutting multiple characters and
that whole thing is just so funny.
Yeah. He's basically He's apparently been treading water for a couple of books now.
So basically manga?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, anyway, I'll probably put these okay, well, that'll do it for the block. I'll probably put these awards categories up tomorrow. I'm tired.
All right.
Well, thank you, B-Dubs, for being here.
Okay.
Thank you, C. Kohler.
No problem.
Thank you, Seda.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you guys next year.
Oh, my God.
We're
next year?
a few weeks and an entire awards podcast away from the next episode of this podcast.
Oh, yeah. Wait, when are we doing the awards podcast?
January 5th is when I'm tentatively thinking of doing it. The first Toonami day of the new year.
Yeah, that's a good day, I think.
Let's try not to have it be so long as last year's.
It's gonna be all day.
Hey, I think we've cut. Let me look.
Absolutely nothing.
I think we managed to get less categories.
Like 2 less. Let's be real.
Hey, it counts.
The ones we weren't going to talk about anyway.
All right. Well, we went all the way up to W last year, so.
Yeah.
There are how many letters in the alphabet?
26.
26.
Yes, that.
We had 23 categories last year.
And how many this year?
22. 22. Yep. We cut 8 categories.
We're going to say college guy.
Good job, us. We did it.
We cut so much.
We'll probably be doing other stuff while we podcast because I can't spend 5 hours or 6 hours, however long we took.
Look,
no,
I'm kind of attention.
I'm probably going to be writing or playing Smash while we do this.
No, I need your full undivided attention.
So who's all going to be on that cast, like, for voting?
Well, this 4, and then I'm not sure the 5th. I might want to see if a new person can come in.
In the past, we had Bishop do it.
We've had Bishop, we've had Crocodile, we've had Raxus, we've had Steven.
That reminds me, I got to fix Sonic's thing.
Yeah. I wonder, I think there's a new person I have in mind who might be good, I think.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, the category of literally watches every show on the block is now gone. People just don't care about Shippuden or Boruto anymore. Like, I feel like we're the only 4 people who watch every show. This
is probably true.
Literally only us.
There's Baroque.
Baroque is
He's a trooper. He watches everything.
We don't deserve him.
He's my favorite.
He's too good for us.
I thought I was your favorite.
Now that you're no longer a mod, you no longer have authority. You can just blatantly choose favorites.
I thought I was your favorite. I'm sad now.
Oh man, you took his power. You're his worst.
And then I multiplied it.
Kaioken. Anyway, look forward to that tomorrow. Get your nominations in. You'll have plenty of time. Not that hard. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.